My mother's exceptionally proud of me. She still worries because mothers worry. But even when we were in jail, she said, well, I know you're both strong. So like she knows she has men. I mean, I believe especially also, I think a man has a duty to his last name. I think we carry the last name. We have a duty to our last name. I am a Tate. I am my father's son. The reason my father is discussed so heavily is because of my monumental success. I keep him alive via my success. I would love to think my son does the same thing. They will talk about my son in a way where they're so interested in his life path that I must be discussed by extension, and then I live forever. So I have a duty to Tate. I have a duty to my last name. I must perform. And this is what I said to my mother on the phone. I'm a Tate, it's fine. But the conditions are bad, yeah. That's life.
We've been hurt. We're doing right. We've got millions of dollars. We're strong. We're prosperous.
That's true.
We've got each other.
Yeah.
And we've always got each other.
That's true.
You've always got my back.
Yeah.
I've always got I've always got your back, right?
Sure.
There's nothing you can ever do that I don't have your back on, right? We are each other's wingman.
Right.
We are each other's right hand man.
That's right.
And nothing in the world can ever stop us. I'm telling you, if I'm hungry, I'll eat your food. If you're hungry, you'll eat my food.
Right.
Me and you have got it. It's fine. Doesn't matter what the dude does. Doesn't matter what the Matrix does. Doesn't matter how they attack us. It's fine. We've been hurt.
True.
We're doing right. We've got millions of dollars.
That's true.
We're strong.
True.
We're prosperous.
That's true.
We've got each other.
Yeah.
And we've always got each other.
That's true.
You've always got my back.
Yeah.
I've always got I've always got your back, right?
True.
There's nothing you can ever do that I don't have your back on, right?
Right.
We are each other's wingman.
That's right.
We are each other's right hand man.
That's right.
And nothing in the world can ever stop us. I'm telling you, if I'm hungry, I'll eat your food. If you're hungry, you'll eat my food.
Right.
Me and you have got it. It's fine. Doesn't matter what the dude does. Doesn't matter what the Matrix does. Doesn't matter how they attack us. It's fine. We got rice. We got food. I'll eat the fucking dirt off the ground. Me and you, we're strong. Forever. Because I'm too powerful. I'm too rich. Too strong. I'm too hard to kill. Woo! We're warriors. We're the last Spartans of the world.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what they do. It's fine. Fine. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to you. Doesn't matter. Who cares? Birthday, no birthday, I don't give a shit. Every day of the week, doesn't matter. I'm with Andrew Tate, and you're
Right.
Christian Tate. And that's the way it is.
Yeah.
That's the way it's always going to be.
From the from the
Yo, it is episode number 148 of the Maki and Kane podcast. And Kane, if you're late again and I have to replay the intro, you will not be present for episodes. Stand on being on time and be on time. But with that being said, I'm finna pass the mic over to Kane, let him say what he got to say, and then we're gonna go to get to the topic of this episode.
You already know what it is. We're back at the Search Some More game on the ground for them Hungry Hounds. We just got the pound ready for the next round. With that being said, we finna jump right into this shit.
All right, with that being said, man, first we're going to talk about the UFC Fight Night event that just recently took place. We're going to talk about the three main events of the thing. The rest of it, I really feel like those names are too irrelevant to talk about, but shout out to them. Alexa Grasso, Valentina Shevchenko was a draw, but I'd argue that it wasn't a draw. Now, I do agree that the last round shouldn't have been a 10-8. Alexa Grasso won that round, but she didn't dominate the round to the point to where she got a 10-8. She was only grappling for about a minute long at the very end, but it was dominant grappling. It wasn't just control grappling. So I'd argue that she won 3 rounds. I don't think it was a draw. And even if it was a draw, I don't think they need to fight again. Valentina has now been on the losing side of a result twice. A draw is not a win. So I think that, like Alexa Grasso said, they shouldn't hold up the division and they should go ahead and move on to the next contender in the women's flyweight division. What do you think about the fight and everything like that?
I liked the fight. I enjoyed it. I personally didn't feel like it was a draw. I felt like Alexa won 3 rounds, and honestly, I don't think they should do. I don't think they should have a rematch either. I think they need to just move on. But I mean, at the end of the day, the judges score it. However, the judges score it. There's nothing that we can do about it. We we watch the show. We watch the fight. We vote for who we think is going to win, and we keep on pushing. But yeah, no, I thought they both did great. But yeah, I thought the draw was a little. I thought it was uncalled for, honestly.
All right, and on to the next fight. We had Kevin Holland versus Jack Della Maddalena. I thought Kevin Holland showed up like a jackass. He didn't take his fight serious, and that's the exact reason why he now has double losses in his record. He didn't show up to fight. He showed up to be cool. He had the clear, obvious reach and height advantage, and he could have stylistically had this fight in his favor. One person came to win and one person came to play, and that's the exact reason why Jack won. So, what did you think about the fight and how Jack got on the inside and was just really in the range, closing off that distance and just destroying Kevin Holland?
I was disappointed in Kevin Holland's performance in this fight. I thought he was gonna dominate the fight with the reach that he had. I thought he was gonna use that shit to his advantage, but he just seemed like he was more just wanting to drag it out, just wanting to play around and not really fight to win. He was just fighting to look cool, to make his opponent look like a clown. And that's exactly why he lost. Like you said, he wasn't fighting for the right reasons. He was in there trying to show off to the crowd and shit. And it's a shame, bro, because when you see somebody who you know damn well can win against the opponent that they're fighting and they lose, it's just like, what the fuck, bro? But at the end of the day, he made the decision that he made, and he has to live with it. He's the one that he's the one that looks like a clown for performing the way that he did. But that was his choice, at the end of the day.
Facts. And then the last fight we're going to talk about, Raul Rosas Jr. versus Terrence Mitchell. Now, Terrence Mitchell had a pretty, interesting winning streak story behind him of how he had been finishing people, whether it was by knockout or by submission. Yeah. So when he went in there with Raul had something to prove. Raul's coming off a loss where he showed a lot of promise within his skill set, as we had already known. He went out there and he did his thing, but he gassed out and he didn't have extra layers to his game. He was more of a grappler, submission type guy. This fight, he knocked the dude square the fuck out, had him rattled, fell back. That shit was crazy. So, that was dope to see him get that fight. And I think that this kid has a lot of potential in the future if he stays humble, but not feeling like he already has the tools, trying to gain even more tools, because he definitely needs more in his toolbox. But it's crazy to see a young man. I think he's going to be 19 years old out here putting the beats on grown-ass men like that. What did you think about his performance in this fight versus the last one?
He really showed out on this fight, and I was happy to see him do what he was supposed to do. Last fight he got his ass whooped, but this fight he came back with more to show. I was talking about it before he fought. I was like, I hope he took the L that he took last time and applied it to his training and understood that he needed to train more. And he did, bro. He came back and he showed up. He showed out. He knocked that dude on his ass, made him do a backflip on the fucking floor and shit. And then he kept him down on the floor too. That was one of the things that I noticed too, was instead of allowing him to get up, he remained on top of him and said, "Nah, fuck you, but you ain't getting up. I'm going to make sure that you go to sleep or that you lose." And that's what he did, bro. I was happy to see it. I was smiling and shit. He did what he was supposed to do. So, you got to give props where it's due. So yeah, man, I was excited for that fight, and it ended a little bit quicker than I thought it would. But that's what happens when you go out there and do what you're supposed to do. You push shit to an end quick.
Fact. So that's the recap on the UFC event. It was a good event. Really enjoyed it. Some of the fights were lackluster and definitely lacked in combative competition, and the performance was just terrible. But hey, at least the main events did what they were supposed to do outside of the Kevin Holland fight. So with that being said, we can move on to the next topic. Zherka is supposed to be allegedly fighting Prime tonight. Prime, which is Aiden Ross's friend, which is also the dude who was concerned about where Charleston White's dick was. We don't know if this is for clout. We don't know if this is staged, but all I will say is this is a time where I'm hoping that Zherka beats the brakes off of this flaming hot Cheeto fag boy Izzy Prime. You really can't make this shit up. But dude, I can't even say if I believe it or not because this is the Aiden Ross camp, and everything that they do is for antics and clicks, likes, and views. So I don't know if it's true, but if it is, I'm going with Zherka. How do you think that fight will go? Zherka has a huge height, muscle mass, and really everything that's beneficial to a combat aspect advantage. How do you think it will go? Because sometimes you can have all those things and still lose, but I think in this event that Prime doesn't stand a chance. He's built like a fucking pretzel stick.
Yeah, if he loses, bro, if Zherka loses and he's just, I don't know what to say about that man at all no more. If he loses to a fucking dude like Prime, if he loses to somebody worried about another dude sending a dick pic to somebody, then you crazy, bro. That's wild. But no, if it goes the way it's supposed to, Zherka will tear that motherfucker up. And if they do, that's what he's supposed to do. But like you said, it's fucking Aiden Ross, bro. Any of this shit could be staged. It could be all just for fun, for likes, clicks, and views. You know, it could be, they could have all the tension coming up to the point where they're supposed to fight and they just bullshit around like it's not even going to happen. Who knows, bro? Who knows? Yeah, but no, I think Zherka gonna whoop his ass. If he don't, then I'm disappointed in Zherka even more. But if he do, good job, Zherka. You doing what you're supposed to do.
So with that being said, I originally had planned to react to the new emergency meeting, but I saw that there's a new video uploaded called Tate Talks About Beauty. So we're going to watch that. Then I'm going to let Kane react to it. And then we're going to go ahead and conclude this episode unless he has anything to talk about. So without further ado, tune in, bitches.
Have a beautiful dinner. That's going to be all of my beautiful cars are missing. Look at this. Isn't this heartbreaking? All of the beauty that I had on my driveway was confiscated by the pagans, but it'll be back. And I realized men, us, even me, top G, all of us are ugly, right? We're beasts. We are not designed to be aesthetically beautiful. We're designed to be ugly, but we built beautiful things. Every day I come out into my driveway, I come out to my garden, I look around, I'm a little bit sad that my cars are missing. I contemplate buying 20 new ones on the debit card because I'm cheap. But I'm like, they'll come back, no big deal. And then I'm looking for beauty elsewhere in the world, and I'm starting to realize that everything is fucking ugly. Everything's ugly. They're making everything ugly on purpose because they're trying to assault your mind and destroy your psyche. When I said this to Tristan, I said, everything's ugly. He's like, what do you mean? I said, literally everything you can name is ugly. The people in the television adverts are ugly. The people on the billboards are ugly. The new buildings they make are ugly. They're building everything ugly on purpose because they're trying to assault you and attack you. I decided to put this on Twitter. I said, why is everyone ugly now? Where's the beauty? Because you know what? I'm a soft guy. I'm a sentimental man. I just want to take my ugly self. I'm ugly enough. It's fine. I'm built for war. I'm not built for aesthetics. I'm built for function. Take my ugly self, get into my beautiful Ferrari with a beautiful woman who's wearing beautiful diamonds. I've got a beautiful diamond watch. We drive away to a beautiful hotel. I like to see pretty things. I like beautiful things. That's what I like. Why the fuck am I working so hard if I don't get to go and see beautiful things in beautiful places? Beauty is what life is about. But everything's ugly. So I put this on Twitter. Why is everything ugly? And of course, there's some DNG, some idiot with an opinion. People aren't ugly. You just have Eurocentric beauty standards. What I have is eyes. And my eyes can see what is attractive and what isn't. So of course I replied that and said, there's nothing to do with Eurocentric beauty standards. This is to do with my eyes and the fact that you're trying to convince me that ugly things are beautiful because you're trying to attack my psyche and poison my mind. Because once you can convince me to ignore my own eyes, then I'm completely open to the slave programming because you want me to become an agent of the Matrix like you, and I refuse. Nothing to do with Eurocentric beauty standards, but I decided to be more articulate with my answer and destroy her. So I said very simply, I would argue to the end of human time that something which is difficult to obtain and achieve is intrinsically more beautiful than something which is easy to obtain and achieve. Let's start with buildings. If you build a building and it's a big boring square, like they're building now, every single building is a boring square. Architects put in no effort. In the 1800s, we built these beautiful ornate structures. Now everything they build is ugly. If you do that, that takes less effort than building a big structure which is ornate with beautiful intrinsic small details and sculpture. It's easy. So the fact that it's easier to do means it must be by default less aesthetically pleasing to the mind. It must be less beautiful because it was so easy to achieve. You can extrapolate this out towards people, right? If you find a woman who's in perfect shape, her body was difficult to achieve, that's attractive. The people in the adverts today are just people. They're just born, they eat a bunch of donuts, and they look like shit. And we're going to sit here and say that that's beautiful. It's not beautiful because anybody could have done it. It's not unique. Value is intrinsically linked to scarcity. If something is not scarce, it's not valuable. The reason gold is valuable is because It's scarce. It doesn't just pop up on the floor. If it was everywhere, it would have no value at all. So when people try and argue me about Eurocentric beauty standards or this other garbage, I simply say, if somebody looks in a way which is less difficult to achieve and is extremely common, I would not argue that to be beautiful. I would argue that to be commonplace, boring. And beautiful things require effort to achieve, whether it's a building or whether it's a person elsewhere. The reason they are trying to make everything ugly is because they don't want you to have any vested emotional interest in anything. If they build a beautiful building in a particular town, you're going to love that town. You're going to care about what happens to that town. You're going to care about who lives in that town. You're going to care about the crime rates. You're going to care about the fentanyl epidemic. You're going to care about anything that happens in that town because there's all these beautiful buildings and it's where you grew up and you feel emotionally attached to that town. If they make everything ugly all of the time, then you don't care. Why do you care? Big glass building, big square building, big dildo building, big boring building. Who gives a shit if they ruin the place? None of it matters. By destroying your emotional investment in the places you live and destroying your emotional investment in basically anything, they leave you completely and utterly open to be enslaved. Everything is ugly. Start paying attention. Look around you. Everything's ugly. They're doing it on purpose. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try my very, very best to bring some beauty to the world. I'm going to start, once I'm released from my prison, I'm going to start doing beautiful things. We're going to the most beautiful places in the world, with the most beautiful women in the world, with the most beautiful cars in the world. We're going to have a beautiful hot air balloon. We're going to have a beautiful dinner that's going to be aesthetically pleasing to look at. It's going to be beautifully filmed with beautiful music. It's all going to be beautiful. I'm bringing beauty back. That's what I'm here to do. That's the most Googled, most famous man on the planet. I'm going to bring some beauty back to your eyes so you're not stuck looking at overweight Calvin Klein models and some fucking idiot on the internet trying to convince you that these unattractive people are attractive because of your Eurocentric beauty standards and other bullshit matrix-minded slave programming they are trying to inject into your fucking psyche. I'm going to save the world through beauty.
Break it down, Kane.
Now, that was a good ass video. He was speaking a whole lot of facts, bro. And honestly, I never really looked at it like that with the way they're making shit just plain and boring and old and just not pleasant to look at. You know, when you look at all these cities, they're all the fucking buildings the same shape. You know, they're all the same color. There's no contrast to it at all whatsoever. It's just bland. It's like when you cook a steak with no fucking seasoning on it, it tastes like shit. That's what these fucking cities are like. That's what this landscaping is like. Whereas way back then, like he pointed out, they used to have all types of different shapes and colors and sizes and shit when they built these buildings. It's crazy, man. And it's like that with people too. Not even just the buildings, but it's like that with people, bro. They trying to advertise fat ass people. They're trying to advertise gay ass people and all types of shit. And it's just like, why? Like, why the fuck? Why are you trying to bring me down? Why are you trying to make me think a certain way? Just because you want me to. Like, I don't give a fuck about that shit. I don't care about that shit. You know, why can't we just they try to throw their opinion, their standpoint of beauty on you. If you're fucking fat, you're beautiful. No, bitch, you just ugly as hell. If you gay, you're beautiful. No, you just fucking gay as hell. Like, that's, to me, that's not beautiful, bro. Beautiful to me is when it comes to like landscaping and shit, it's like colorful contrast, different shapes and sizes and shit. When it comes to cities, something that makes you want to go there, something that makes you want to be a part of that fucking city, you know. And the people there too, the people there are fucking ugly as hell inside, mentally. Fucking, they're just nasty as fuck. They're rotten to the core. They're ugly as fuck too. They're not beautiful. They're trying to make everything on the same level. That's like that equality bullshit. Oh, men and women are the same now. Oh, well, we want everything to be the same. People are supposed to be ugly. The buildings are supposed to be ugly. The landscape is supposed to be ugly. Like, fuck no, bro. Not everything is supposed to be ugly, bro. If you was born ugly, you need to do something to fix it. You can't force somebody else, other people, to accept you as being beautiful just because you look in the mirror and see a fat ass body that you don't like and you want to say, oh, well, I'm beautiful just because I say so. Like, nah, bro. Like, nah. He pointed that shit out, but I never even really thought of it like that. That's crazy. That changed my whole viewpoint on the world like that. That's crazy, bro. I never even thought about it like that.
I'll say all of that, summarize it in this statement. Equality is basically communism. Communism is disguised as equality, and that's what they want to bring it to. They want everybody to think the same, look the same, and believe in the same things. And if you don't, you are an issue. So it's equality, but it's really underneath the mask. Underneath the mask, where within is what is called communism. So with that being said, man, we're getting ready to wrap this episode up. And pass the mic over to Kane. Let him say what he got to say. Then we're going to conclude it. The Monkey Show and the Kane Show will air as usual. So make sure that you go tune in and tap in and get ready to rumble, bitch. Yeah.
Yep, that was facts, man. Make sure y'all share with your friends, your families, your mummies, your aunties, your grannies, and everybody else that y'all know. I'm going to be live in a little bit. Your boy Maki will be live later on around the usual times. So with that being said, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
We've been hurt. We're doing right. We've got millions of dollars. We're strong. We're prosperous.
That's true.
We've got each other.
Yeah.
And we've always got each other.
That's true.
You've always got my back. I've always got your back, right? There's nothing you can ever do that I don't have your back on, right? We are each other's wingman.
Right.
We are each other's right hand man.
That's right.
And nothing in the world can ever stop us. I'm telling you, if I'm hungry, I'll eat your food. If you're hungry, you'll eat my food.
Right.
Me and you have got it. It's fine. Doesn't matter what the Duke does. Doesn't matter what the Matrix does. Doesn't matter how they attack us. It's fine. We got rice. We got food. I'll eat the fucking dirt off the ground. Me and you, we're strong forever. Because I'm too powerful. I'm too rich. Too strong. I'm too hard to kill. Woo! We're warriors. We're the last Spartans of the world.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what they do. It's fine. Fine. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to you. Doesn't matter. Who cares? Birthday, no birthday, I don't give a shit. Every day of the week, doesn't matter. I'm with Andrew Tate, and you're
Right.
Christian Tate. And that's the way it is.
Yeah.
That's the way it's always going to be.
From the
That was it. Peace.
Deuces.